All right, guys. I know you guys been waiting on this part 2 for Coach. I didn't shortchange you on it. Again, I got to do something about this about my daggone equipment. It's like I give y'all some good content, I give y'all some fire stuff, and all of a sudden it disappears on me all of a sudden. But it's cool though. We're gonna keep working through this thing. Frustration is coming down a little bit, but we're gonna be all right. But I got to tell you guys, sitting here preparing this, it just blew my mind because I started seeing a lot of folks out there was regurgitating some of the things that I was, going to say to you guys in this video. And when you look at a lot of chaos and mess that's going on, it makes you wonder exactly what's going on from a leadership standpoint. And the one thing that I look at when it comes to our HBCU spaces, and I look at everything else that's going on outside around us with the Power 5, whatever have you, they're not like us. I keep saying that. They're not like us. I mean, that Kendrick Lamar song just sticks in my mind like they are not like us. And I ain't going to use the line that he used on Drake saying that they colonizers because that'll really start pissing some folks off. But I am going to say they're not like us. And there's certain things that need to be addressed. We're going to talk about them right after this. You know, it's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap me in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on in this thing and get straight to it. Come in like, Coach, what's your thoughts on everything? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at everything that's taking place, from the chaos that we had with the hiring of the new head football coach, in which that man was there and the university spent unnecessary money just to find somebody to put in place when the man was already there in front of your face. Or better yet, the chaos that went on with the other coach that was looking to be brought into the program from Fort Valley State University, in which no one wanted him because of some issue that happened before. Okay, I get all of that. People, they feel the way that they feel, and they're going to stand on that. That's understood. But then you had the situation with the bowling coach. You got all of these different things going on. The money with the guy, as far as the guy bringing the money to the school that was a hoax, it's just a lot of chaos. And the sad part about all of this is the fact that every time you see these issues come up, you got a cop, bad cop. And I'm just sitting there shaking my head like, wait a minute, what in the world are we doing? And then, this whole bit with the basketball coach where you're going to hold off on his contract until you go to your retreat in August. And I salute the coach. I salute Coach Crary because he's coming to the university to work, to get the job done, get things moving, and he's doing it on his own dime. I understand all of that. But if you're looking to build a program, then it makes sense to get all of the pieces in place to make sure everything is running in a manner which it needs to run. Now, I'm going to say some things to my Rattler family. I know y'all going to get mad with Coach, but I hope y'all don't exclude me from the daggone picnic, the barbecue, the tailgates. I hope y'all exclude me from none of this stuff. I still love y'all. I still love you guys. I love every last one of my HBCU schools that I cover. But sometimes you got to have this conversation that people don't want to have, and it might sting just a little bit. But the Rattler family, I got y'all got folks out here really shaking their heads trying to figure out exactly what's going on with this thing. And I'm gonna start the ball off rolling with the fact that this letter, you got a letter from a parent that was upset about how things were handled when it came to his child, his student athlete. And it seems like this is becoming the cycle as far as with how parents are handling things now on a collegiate level when it comes to athletes not being, they're not getting their way or something not going in the manner which they feel that it should go based on circumstances. And in this instance, I'm looking at this letter and I'm saying, wait a minute, there's some things here that was missed that was not given to the masses ahead of time, in which you have people out here, they already have their minds made up as far as exactly what's going on. Now, I'm sure you guys already heard about the 6 players that jumped into the portal before the new head coach was even announced. Not only that, but you had 1 player that has no more eligibility left, and you have 3 players that entered the transfer portal after the announcement of the coach was made. By the way, ONG Strike Zone, they posted that up during their show. Salute to them, give them their credit on that as well. And also, I did get this information from a FAMU alum. Salute to him also for sitting me down, giving me a rundown as far as everything that goes on with this, because I didn't want to get out here and start speaking, recklessly about something that, I needed more context on. Now, one thing in the letter that did bother me is the fact that walk-ons, and the only reason why I'm talking about this is because there's a lot of athletes out there that's now trying to get themselves in position as far as where they're going to go. This when signing day happen, they're trying to get get their footing already and align themselves with the university or college that they're looking to continue on a collegiate level. To continue doing the thing that they love to do. When it comes down to playing college sports. Now, one thing that's most alarming to me is, like I stated in the letter, we had the parent asking about walk-ons having the ability to practice during the summer. Now, walk-ons necessarily come during once people get back in school, they have a time period when walk-ons happen. So if I'm not mistaken, this is information that parents should already know, or the athletes should already know when it go. But not when it go, but when it happens. And in this instance, I think what the parent was trying to do was trying to give his child a better get them a hand up as far as, or a lift up as far as making sure that they position themselves a little better where it would allow them to possibly make the team. Well, let's be real here. Looking at everything that's going on right now as far as we're trying to structure this team and this letter that's out here that now everyone is beginning to see what's happening and debunking what's going on, it makes it a lot more difficult for your athlete to really position themselves, because there's some things that was in the letter that was a little off. You get what I'm saying? So you got to understand exactly what's going on and why these things make it difficult for an athlete in any program to really get footing as far as having the best opportunity to make the team. See, us parents, like I stated before, I have 3 student athletes that play, I have 3 student athletes that play various sports. And 2 of them that are in college, well, actually 2 of them, one that just graduated, and now I got 2 that's in college, okay? So what I'm getting at is, when you put the athlete in that position, it has the coach looking a little differently at the athlete from the standpoint of, okay, how do I deal with this? Because if this athlete is not giving me everything that I need for them to give me, they don't make the team. Now is the issue. Make sure I rephrase that. They are not capable of making the team because they're not doing the things that are required of them to get on it, required of them to make the team. Make sure I put that out there correctly, because I don't want folks to say, oh, you got a hidden agenda, coach. You just going to go ahead and get rid of them. No, that's not what we own. What I'm trying to get everybody to understand is that you put the athlete in a bad situation where it's almost like a lose-lose. That athlete is going to have to work 10 times, 20 times, 40 times harder just to make sure that they're able to compete on the same level as everyone else that's there looking to make the team. That's all coach is trying to say. But with all of that being said, we got to understand that these athletes, everybody's out here trying to compete to get themselves put in position for them to get that scholarship to move on. Last season, I think it was like 19,000, not 19,000, but 19 players that was on the team. That is truly too many athletes that's out there on that daggone squad. I'm sorry. That's too many. 15 should be the max as far as on the bench. 15, 16. Me personally, I did coach basketball at one point in time. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I don't know anything about the sport. No, 15 would be the max. I'm like, there's nowhere in the world you go over that. Even in rec ball, you don't go 19 daggone players on the team. That's crazy. But just looking at how all of this is being sized up, we're going to move on from that and get to the financial piece of this. The question at hand was the amount of money that Coach Query was making over at St.Thomas University. Now, let's be honest, guys. Coach did dig in and do a little research, find out that Coach Query did have two titles. One was he was a head men's basketball coach and an assistant athletic director, right? And when I did a search on that to see exactly what was the pay scale on salary.com for that position, it averaged out between $78,000 and $105,000 a year. Now, I'm looking at the dual roles that this coach had while he was over at St. Thomas University. Not to mention he's coached for 10 to 14 years. So you take his 10 years as far as him, working in the position that he's been working for as long as he's been working it. $65,000, that's almost like a slap in the face. Even if he was making that money and he wanted to get somewhere to get better, you can't fault him at that. Matter of fact, let me ask you a question. How many of your favorite coaches have left programs and went on to make more money where they are currently? I mean, I'm not being funny when I say this, but you got head coach Willie Simmons left from FAMU, went to Duke. Deion Sanders left from Jackson State, went to Colorado. Heck, some of y'all cats out here that's probably watching me right now, y'all in Cubicle Nation, y'all left your cubicle job and got your executive job, and you're making the money that you're making. So all I'm simply saying is that it comes a point in time where we got to get out of this thing where we want to count everybody's pockets as far as what they should and what they shouldn't make. If we back to the scenario of, hey, we don't like this guy, we'd rather have somebody else come in here and coach the program instead, then how about we go with that instead of wasting this man's time when he came in and was awarded the job back in April, with April 17th, 18th, somewhere in there, he was awarded the job. So if this is what we're doing, if this is going to be a continuance as far as what we're doing, guess what? You got coaches out here that's looking at this that may not want to become a part of your program because this is what they see all the time when it comes down to coaches having to go through the ringer as far as if they're going to be given a contract or not. I'm like, this good cop, bad cop with the trustees, I'm like, this is getting old. I mean, you got the president versus the vice president. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? At the end of the day, the president sat down and went through this with the athletic director. All of a sudden now you got the vice president say, hold up, wait a minute. We got to put some spices in it. We got to find out what's going on here. Guys, listen, let's get on board as far as what's going on, okay? Let's get on board as far as what's happening and make sure that all I's and T's are dotted and crossed, because the business itself needs to be handled in-house. There's too much the business getting outside the doors as far as the masses knowing what's going on. And then when we find out what's going on, people begin to dig in and see that there's some inconsistency as far as what's happening. Now everybody will see, see what had happened was, no, we're not going to get to that. We're going to go ahead and dive straight in this thing and make sure it moved the way we need to move. Now, the last person I'm going to get on here, I done talked about the vice president, the president, the board of trustees. I'm like, guys, we got to find a way to get this together. And I understand that the board of trustees and the vice president and a couple other folks may not feel a particular way about this last person I'm talking about, and that's AD Vice President Sykes. In which, yes, there's some folks out here that feel, someone else should have got that position. I'm like, guys, she's here now. She's here now. And if, the discord and all of this chaos that's going on, either going to find a happy medium to make this thing work, or guess what? There's going to be continued chaos as far as the information going outside the doors of the university for the world to see and know. And people are going to talk about it. And guess what? You're going to continue to keep giving your university a black eye. Now, AD Vice President Sykes, it seems like every time you make a hire, there's a problem. And it's like you get brought in front of the firing squad, which everybody's coming out here. They got their rocks and they throwing their rocks because they upset and mad about whatever it is that you're doing, who you hired, so on and so forth. And then, you want to change the rules on how things are supposed to be done and how things are supposed to be managed. I'm like, listen, my only request is this. When looking at hiring anyone else, please make sure we got all I's, T's dotted and crossed. Understand the fact that you brought in was the females basketball coach and the volleyball coach, and nobody had an issue. I understand all of that. But it seems like as of late, especially with the debacle with the head football coach, now this situation here with the basketball coach, it seems like it's always something else going on that's underlying that needs to be that's going on. And I'm gonna be honest with you. As far as all of the adults and all of the different factions that are, dealing with this, that talk, have a hand in handling business with this, the one thing I request is that y'all go sit down in a room somewhere and say what you feel and get it out the way so that your university can move forward and do the things that it need to do. Because, see, you can't say you brag different and, you up on the highest of 7 hills and y'all looking down and everybody else looking up. Everybody else is looking up. I mean, right now, if the highest of 7 hills is here and everybody else is looking up to see what's going on at the highest of 7 hills, guess what? With all of this chaos that's going on, the highest of 7 hills is down here. And everybody's looking down at y'all like, okay, what y'all got going on over here? That's not a good look, okay? That's all coach is trying to get at. This is not a good look. This letter should have never made it out to mass media as far as what's going on. Sad part about this is we're so inclined to want to embarrass one another as far as what's going on to prove a point. And the question I have to ask is, what point are we proving? What did we prove with this? I mean, I'm just asking, what point did we prove with this? I myself, I am a parent of student athletes. It's not an easy job. You want to make sure that you put your athletes in the best position. Your student athletes, you want to put them in the best position. But in this instance here, not only did you embarrass the university, but you put your student athlete in an even worse position than you could ever imagine. Because the simple fact is, now you got people asking questions like, okay, what's really going on here? And when your athlete get graded on what they can and can't do on the court, boy, that pen gonna be that's gonna be a heavy pen that's gonna be used against that athlete. And for the board of trustees, vice president, and the athletic director, like I said, y'all gotta find a way to come together. These people, they're not like us. These folks that's outside this HBCU world, they're not like us. They don't bring what we bring to the table as far as the things that we're capable of doing. But you got the masses out here looking at us saying, I told y'all, look at them. They can't even get it together over there. How we going to want to go put some money over there with that? They can't get it together over there. Come on, man. We got to fix the garbage. Take the trash out, kick it to the curb, and let's go. Let's move on forward. Leadership is a must. And without that leadership, guess what? We got significant issues that's going on right now. So I need the leadership to get it together. I need all of the stuff. I need people, and I understand this is in my own little perfect world where I think that, folks can really sit down and have a conversation based on, if they can't get their way, if things don't go the way that they expect them to, they'll understand that we can move on and go in a different direction and continue to keep moving forward. It ain't gonna happen like that, because we're gonna find a way to, if we can't get what we want, we're gonna find a way to put it out there where people sit back and look at us in a light where it might not be as bright as it should be. But then on the back end, as people find out more, now you're sitting there asking yourself the question like, damn, why didn't we fix this in the manner in which we fixed it, in the manner in which we should have fixed it in the beginning, instead of letting it fester in the manner in which it's festered for us to continuously keep embarrassing ourselves. But you know what? Coach gonna go ahead and get up on out of here. I think I'd have talked about this long enough. Till next time, be the one and lead.